What's up, world? What's up, Zion? It's Prince Easy coming at you again once more as usual. I do have a couple slides that I want to share with you in this fine day that we're having. And of course, before we get to those slides, I want to issue a copyright disclaimer, right, for all the copyrighted material that's going to be shared in this video. Right, so now that is done, let's get to it, right? Well, I'm glad to have had the opportunity to clear the air with our white brethren pertaining to our supposed hatred for them and our supposed hatred and need to have them replaced, right? And like I said, the same conspirators have been saying, they have been saying these things out of their mouth using the media. They want to do stuff to you, and we have nothing to do with it. Okay? So, you deal with that. Okay? You deal with that. Talk to them. Okay? Stop pointing fingers to Africans claiming that we're trying to replace you and stuff. Okay? In other news, the United States is currently conducting the largest logistical operation in history, a statistical analysis. This 30-second video shows the American logistical air activity in the West Asian over the past 7 days only, accelerated by 20,000 times. At the same time, the activity continues around the clock for 76 days. We are talking about the largest aerial supply operation in American military history, which exceeds the scale of 2003 Iraqi war. This level of cargo transport far surpasses routine supply replenishment. All American strategic warehouses in the region are almost fully stocked and continue to reach their maximum capacity. The U.S. military is not spending billions of dollars on empty threats or showing off maneuvers. All of this indicates readiness for a preemptive strike and possibility the start of a ground operation. So, these were the books that apparently Epstein was having a read about, having a peep about. Okay, and like I said, sex magic. And sex magic within itself is just cover for the bloodline of evil spreading. Okay? And since these occult societies are reserved for the crop of the top crop of society, hence they continue to stay in power. Right? So, 2027, this is what they're saying. Well, what type of propaganda did they throw around to make this stick? Okay? What type of propaganda did they throw you away for this to stick? Trust me, it's quite familiar. What do we have here? Congress. Don't hand our keys to China. Right? This is what they are going with, right? The usual propaganda. Okay? That they're gonna guilty trip you that if you don't have a kill switch in your car, If you don't have this tech watching your eye, then you're not a patriot. Why? Because you like China. Okay? And that's what it's gonna get down to. Right? So like this is just like a perfect payout for racism, right? Like literally. Like right? Talking about AI, okay? So they are fully implementing these things. They didn't ask for your consent, nor do they need your consent. That is the dark reality that you have to wake up to, brethren and sistren. Right? Here is another case. Right? 6 months in jail, false identification. Now the state has to compensate. It's even getting worse out there. Right? Now this is in Canada. Right? Just like in the UK. Okay? More power moves, if you ask me. Right? More power moves. Right? What are they preparing for? Right? The strikes on the Kurds. Now this. I think we can see the writing on the wall. Let's just say that. Yeah. This is what we have now. This is the new normal, right? Well, I think there should be measures to monitor these claims in live, right? Maybe they should be declaring more often, because this is ridiculous. All of these claims, all these, they need to be looked at. People don't just say things out of thin air, maybe out of hatred or something. Watch out. Hey, Pentagon is going public. This time it's not the UAPs. This time it's energy weapons and stuff. Right? Niggas cannot catch a break. Anywhere. Right? And again, like I said, we cannot catch a break. Right? And that is the hypocrisy of the European, right? The so-called Jew, who is your fellow European, is going to be really successful in destroying you because he's the best representation of you. And he's going to best you, and he's going to use you to his advantage, and you can do nothing about it because why? You are a hypocrite. Right? That is that stumbling block that keeps the masses from waking up, right? Hypocrisy. Why aren't we hearing anything about this? Because it would paint America in a negative. But if that is the case, then what about all of these incidences that were made popular by the media? What about them? What were they designed for? They were designed for you to hate black people and other minority groups, if they call them that. And then they add on top of that, oh, we are trying to replace you, look at our birth rates. All of these bizarre things And these are the things that are pushing your children to do this to us. What do you expect to come out of this, for instance? Let me just ask, what do you expect to come out of this? That they're gonna go to prison and they're gonna be fined, these white boys here? Or we're gonna build prisons for white people that have offended black people? Because I'm confused. Or are they gonna walk free? Self-defense and stuff. It won't be the first nor the last. So the so-called Jew, your fellow European, has the upper hand till then. Well, this is our history with your so-called Jews, but really fellow Europeans, okay?
Oh yeah, they forgot to. So there's a new book I'm reading, Tiny Hats Selling the Slaves. Oh yeah, they forgot to mention all of this in the Rockefeller schools. And people say that's not true. Well, you should read this one. This guy was a rabbi who wrote this one. And you know the term layaway? That came from when rabbis were selling slaves. Yes. And this has pages and pages of all the auctions and the rabbis selling the slaves. Check this, Jacob Cohen, okay, owned a plantation. Yes, all the plantations were ran by the Tiny Hats. 294 enslaved Africans. He was the president of the synagogue. You can just look this stuff up. And what got even deeper is I found Charleston, 1825. That was the original place of the slave marts. And they own the merchants, they own the ships, they own everything. And look at this, Charleston, Tiny Hat, slave traders. Now, since the Tiny Hats own all the newspapers, if they tried to run away, they put an ad up trying to get the slaves back. Then it got deeper when I found out that the Tiny Hats owned the police too. So if people tried to run away, they owned both sides. And it's wild because there was only 2 people who actually spoke up about this. That's why it's hidden from you. And also when Christopher Columbus came over here, now you understand who Christopher Columbus was. And this is why the Tiny Hats, the Charzarians, had been kicked out of all these countries. Now you start to understand.
I mean, my colleague next to me said that, that we're a foreign-funded organization, right? Action SA is funded by Martin Marshall, who is Israeli. And Action SA, Herman Mashaba himself, was found to have put a black box inside of Joburg City Council. That's a verified fact. And that box was grabbing information. It was an Israeli spy machine that was grabbing the information of city councillors. And there's never been accountability for that. So when we're talking about elections and who's funding all of this and who's dividing our country and who's dividing the black working class, it is foreign interests and it is the ruling class. And it is people who don't want wealth redistribution, who don't want to see the black working class succeeding, and who are going around blaming people who, some of them are from Limpopo, some of them are from rural KZN, some of them are from rural KZN, some of them are from the rural areas. And now all of a sudden, everyone is looking around their neighbors, their neighborhoods and saying, but that guy has dark skin, but that lady has a funny accent. This is the perfect strategy to divide the country. It's the perfect strategy to divide the working class when actually we need unity amongst everyone to stand up against this system which is crushing the black working class and crushing our people.
Sure. So I think Julia keeps reminding.
Right. Partially get back for the case in the international court. Partially the utter hatred for the real Israelites all over the world, in America, in Africa, in Europe, in Asia. And they're conspiring to do these things, right? But what do they really want? Do they want Africans really out of their continent and to go home and to really, settle their situations back home? Well, let's see what they have to say, right? This is Celeste Wallander. Africa is not merely important in it is essential. Yeah? It's not all merely important, it is essential. African partners are critical for the Department of Defense to maintain its technological edge and accomplish its geopolitical and strategic objectives and power our future. Did you see anywhere that African prosperity was part of their policy or anything like that, or mutual beneficial movements that no, you are just a tool, and that needs to stick in your head. You are just a tool, and this tool in this particular time is in their way, and they're gonna do whatever they have to do or whatever they have done before to deal with it. And that's the truth. Why? Here is why. Okay, this is not some small fish here, right? That is the Department of Defense talking about African resources as if it's theirs, and then making it so clear that it is of utmost importance that they come to secure these resources because it will power their future. So what do you think they're going to do about it, Africa? That's the question I have. I'm not talking about Russia, I'm not talking about China. So, we are not shocked when we hear statements from this guy here, right? We are not. Okay? So, to round off the video, concrete battery developed at MIT now packs 10 times more power. Electrical policies, anyone? Well, I'm just here to update and point out exactly what is what and who is who, right? So, yeah, I think I have said why they're doing this, the real reason, right, that no one can know about. And I'm gonna do it again some other time when it comes down to it. But chaos, that's what we have. So yeah, people are gonna have to deal and not stand on the sidelines and stuff, right? So yeah, I'm gonna put a pin on it right there, and we're gonna see each other when we see each other. It's easy. Signing out. Love you. Bye.